Now we're going to put our interactive buttons on each page. But before we do, we need to assign one last page for the 3D virtual file, which will be integrated into the final PDF by using Acrobat. So all we need to do is drag in the master page to page 6 and leave it as it is. Now I'm going to double click on page 1 and begin to put my buttons in. Now what you may have noticed is that you can't select the elements that were put on the master page. So if I double click on that and go to the master page, you'll see that these elements are live art, but they're protected on the pages, which makes it easier for us to drag invisible boxes and assign the interactivity to it. So we're going to be using F on the keyboard again, and I'm going to drag over the little F on the right hand side. Once I've put my box in, I'm going to go to Window. I'm going to Interactive, and I'm going to Buttons and Forms. And you'll see a little window pop up. And all we need to do under Type now is click and choose Button. I'm going to leave the On Release or Tap default. I don't need to name the button. But I do want to add a functionality to it. So where it says Actions, I'm going to click on plus. And I'm going to choose Go to Next Page, because page 1 will be followed by page 2. Now before I go to page 2, I'm going to block the back button on page 1 because there is no page that precedes page 1. So I'll click on my Move tool. Once again, I'm going to hit F or click on the box with the cross through it, and I'll drag a box over the little B button. Now it'll be translucent, but if we go up to the top of the user interface, you will see a white box with a red diagonal through it, a solid white box. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to get my color picker, and I'll click on Paper to make it white. So when we export our PDF, that will be invisible, and there'll be no button that would be distracting or confusing about going back to another page. I'm going to select the button we just created and put our interactivity on. I'm going to go to Edit, Copy. I'm going to double click on page 2. I'm going to go to Edit, Paste in Place. I'm going to double click on page 3 now. I'll go once again to Edit, Paste in Place. I'll do same 4. And then I'll go to 5. And lastly, we'll do the same for the blank page, number 6. Now we'll assign the back button interactivity to all the pages as well. Now we don't have to do 1 because we've blocked that out. There is no page to be returned to from page 1. So we'll start at page 2. I'll hit F on the keyboard, and I'll drag a box around the B. And in my Buttons and Form window, I'll choose Button. And the action, I'll click on the plus sign, and I'll choose Go to Previous Page. Now, once I've got 1, I can go to my Move tool, make sure it's selected. I'll go to Edit, Copy, or hit Command C. I'll go to page 3, Edit, Paste in Place. I'll go to 4, Edit, Paste in Place. 5, Paste in Place. 6, Edit, Paste in Place. And now we can save, and in the next tutorial we'll export